How do you deal with the online discourse and the conversations that go on around anime? Do you ever pay any attention to that?
It was bizarre. And I think it was a little bit difficult, but then since then I'm like, whatever. You can't please everybody. That doesn't mean like there's like, oh, the one true source is the only source. Like it's bizarre. Like, no, actually that probably would be the manga if we're being so serious right now. But I'm just happy that we all can connect by enjoying it in whatever which way.
Sarah, thank you very much for being here. I know you've had a busy weekend so far, and you've got an even busier one to come.
Yes, it's been lovely thus far. Everyone's been very kind. My partner and I ended up doing Phantom Peak last night, which was really, really cool. If you haven't done it, I'd say check it out, because apparently they're going to close sometime this year.
How do you find doing these things? Do you ever find them quite overwhelming? I'm always like, within the first few hours, it's a bit of a rush. It takes me a while to sort of climatize, get used to seeing everything, seeing everyone, wanting to go and talk to people. How do you settle in?
It's difficult. It is super difficult. I really like to sleep. I think the flight in, I was actually able to sleep like maybe 4 hours, but then I got here and it was like an hour and a half drive. It turned into 2 hours and I just slept through the whole thing and I was still not done. It was rough goings, but after a while, I think I just need like a day or two to buffer and then I'm ready to go.
I want to talk about anime. One question I always ask people, anytime that I speak to someone that's involved in like anime, comics, film, TV, I have to know what was that gateway moment. Was it a comic book? Was it a TV show? Was it an anime? What was it that got you involved in the scene that surrounds us today?
Like for what got me into doing voice acting or what? Okay.
Was it like an anime that you saw, or were you watching cartoons?
Oh, I loved anime when I was a kid.
Okay.
I think my favorite was Sailor Moon, and then I also watched Dragon Ball, Cardcaptor Sakura, Inuyasha. It took me a really long time to realize that there were actually like voice actors behind the voices and that just wasn't the characters themselves. But yeah, I ended up doing a lot of theater as a kid and found out that voice acting was a thing. And so I was like, well, that's crazy. I should start to try to like make my journey towards that. Yeah.
Hey, that's phenomenal, because I remember going way back to my French GCSE, and I remember butchering horribly. I wanted to be a voice actor for Japanese cartoons, and my French teacher just looked at me like, and instantly just gave me an F.
It's so mean.
It was awful. Honestly, it was terrible. I'm reliving that trauma right here.
Hey, goodness.
I think that she didn't realize that it was a serious thing. I think she thought I was taking the mick, because I think going back to like the 2000s and stuff, people don't really see that as an option or as a job. Like you said, you didn't really know it was a thing. Did you have to dig around and find your own way into the industry?
Yeah. I mean, I remember making a booth setup at home and auditioning for things online, like little indie projects here and there. But then I realized that one of the dubbing companies, which was Funimation at the time, was like 40 minutes away from where I lived. And so I was like, okay, I'm an idiot if I don't try to sign up for open auditions. And so I searched for that for a very long time and finally found it. And then after like 8 months, and the 5 phases of grief, they reached out and said, hey, we're having them. Do you want to come audition? I'm like, yes, please.
It was all very like DIY from the beginning.
Yeah. It's definitely not a easy route. It's kind of a niche thing, but.
And I think that seems to be the way these days, isn't it? Sort of put yourself out there, carve an avenue out for yourself, and then either present yourself to the people that can, I guess, elevate you to that next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, everybody enters it in a different way. Like, you talk to everybody and they're going to have they're like, oh, I did it. I was in theater and somebody picked me out of the crowd and said, hey, kid.
I think that's the frustrating thing about any element of the arts, isn't it? There's no set way. So like, if you want to be a doctor, you hopefully go to university and become a doctor and you learn about it.
Yep.
Same thing with law, but with the creative arts, it's like, well, you've just got to create your own path. In a way, it makes it a little bit more exciting. What has that journey been like for you? Surely it's been like peaks and troughs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't always know what I wanted to do when I was growing up. But one thing was constant is that I was always in choir. And my parents signed me up for a high school in New York that had a high music production value. And so they're like, here, go in there. Maybe, and Dad was probably hoping I'd get into musicals and stuff. And I did. Did choir. I started getting into show choir, which led me into musicals. And then I started getting involved in an honors choir too. And after musicals, I was like, oh, I want to get into theater now too. I love acting. This is fun. I started taking acting classes when I got into college, with no idea what I was going to be doing, but it was all hobbies. I was not expecting to do anything with those things. But yeah, then I found out about voice acting and I was like, well, that sounds really fun. That's another form of entertainment I haven't gotten my little mitts into yet. And so I started dabbling at home and then I reached out to Funimation for the voiceover auditions and the rest is history.
I love that. The fact that, you've kept going, kept working and striving because it's a hobby, something that you love, something that you enjoy, something that you do in your own time. So, when you come home from work and you're knackered, it's not like I've got to go and like clean the bath or like do the garden if you're not into gardening. It's something that you love and you enjoy. Is that what you would say to people out there? Yeah. If you are interested in anime, comics, TV, film, pick an avenue where you can do something that feels like enjoyment, feels like a hobby.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Like, it just feels unreal to me that it's a real job,
But they're the best ones out there, the ones where that don't feel like a job. You can do it for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely, and I hope to.
Let's have a look about the industry. So, obviously, you reached out to Funimation, and you said, oh, look, I would like to audition. You got the audition. What was it like from there? Thinking, okay, now I've got my foot in the door. Where do I go from here?
Well, so for me, I started off with a minor role in, I believe it was a scientific railgun. And I played a little girl, and the very first thing I did was start sniffing. She was like sniffing out the trail for something. I think she was trying to find a 4-leaf clover, and they were trying to locate where that was, which was so much fun. But a lot of times what happens when you start off, they have you do WALA, which is, I cannot remember the acronym for this entire thing, but it's essentially it's background voices. So
WALA, is that that's what it is? WALA's background voices.
Yes,
yeah, okay.
Background anything that's bringing an environment, an atmosphere. Like you your two characters walk into the school cafeteria. You're gonna need some people like causing a ruckus in the background, right? So it's gonna be me and 3 other girls. Sometimes they'll pair 2 guys and 2 girls too, but yeah, there's always at least 4. Is that you can make a really convincing group or crowd, and they'll have you do it several times. Like they'll have you layer it 3 times so that you're saying different things, and then like, okay, now you just made a very full room sound. And it's all improv too, so which is really, really fun. And I did that in college as well, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm ready for this. Let's go. You just can talk about anything. Sometimes when we're walking around in public, I'll just be listening to people's conversations and be like, oh, that's funny. I'm going to use that next time.
I wonder what it's like for the editor, like listening to all of you guys just chatting over each other, just saying random stuff that you hear from people on the bus and on the train. I need to get my hand on those files.
Yeah.
You need to make them available for people.
I have had a few engineers who have kept some sounds that I've done, and one in particular, oh my God, I love this man. He made it his like ringtone or something. Not a ringtone, but like his text tone. It was just like a quick like sound that I made. I'm like, what? How did you get this? He's like, oh, I have a folder. I'm like, what do you mean you have a folder?
He just taps his nose like, it's for me to know.
Whenever I need it, I know where it is.
I love that sort of stuff. Honestly, people think like nowadays everything is just digital, but the sound has got to come from somewhere, or in your case, from someone, hasn't it? Like, people like will be out there stomping around on sand and glass and stuff, or getting people to scream into a cone and stuff. I'm loving the fact that it's still, these jobs are still done by people, you know what I mean, rather than computers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because no one's gonna be able to put the emotion or the heart or the effort like like a person, like an actor can, like you can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I like to bring up too, whenever I did the open auditions, that I think like over 200 people had auditioned that course of over a week with Jerry Jewell, and only 2 people made it in to Funimation in general, and I was among that, and so was Justin Briner, and so
not big.
Yeah, and it was only because we had an acting background, and whenever somebody asks me about it, like, I want to be a voice actor, what would be your advice? I'm like, well, I would start to work on your acting if you haven't yet, because that's going to be the biggest thing that gets you in the door, because most of the time you're going to get cast for your natural voice anyway. But it seems bizarre, but it's so true. I'd say like a good, like, I don't know, 70% is like around where I am right now. I mean, the rest is just you bringing forth a character, and that, which is so important. If you don't have the experience behind it, you're not going to know where to go, and you're just going to sound like you're reading things off of a page, which is rough. And I have actually heard those things before, and I was like, oh, I don't think I can keep listening to this one.
People just like literally just coming in and just reading it straight off. No heart, no
Yeah.
emotion, no cares.
Yes, it's very different. But yeah, it's so important. Even if you're too scared about, being on a stage, it's still like you're going to be in front of people for voice acting in general. It's an unfortunate thing, but it's an important thing to get yourself the courage. And the more that you act, the more courageous you become. The more, what's the word I'm looking for? Confident. More confident you become. Like standing in front of, or sitting here in front of you guys, like way long ago before I started acting, I would have been crying, throwing up.
Messy.
Yeah, but yeah, since I've done so many of those before, I feel comfortable enough to be doing these things. Yeah, because you're always going to be in front of a director too. There's at least 2 people in a room at any given time amongst you, even if there's not a crowd. But sometimes they'll have a tour come by in Crunchyroll. Like there will be a good 7+ people come in, and they can either be from one of your productions, like Japanese production team coming in from the other side of the planet to watch you do your job. And let me tell you, I work so good under that kind of pressure. I'm like, oh, we're going to be perfect today. But that can be a little bit nerve-wracking, so it's good to have experience with that.
Yeah. I've got a couple of questions about that situation. Do they ever give you the heads up to let you know that people are going to be in, or are you actually going to be walking into the booth in the room and then...
Oh, they give you a 2-minute heads up before you're about to walk into your session, and that's it.
Oh, well, at least they're polite enough to give you 2 minutes, to the very least.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's cool, though. You can, thrive under those situations. If you need, do you feel like you prefer you like an audience then?
Yeah, it does feel like it. It's kind of fun, actually.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you said, look, all the stuff that you've done leading up to this point helps you in the booth, helps you in the art.
Yeah.
So singing, the choir, the theatre, the acting, all of these compound skills you're putting into it. Because I don't know if you guys, anytime I find an animation, a TV show, I like to do a bit of digging. I like to go behind the scenes a little bit. Do any of you guys watch any of that sort of stuff? You know what I mean? We're doing other things, but we're watching behind the scenes, video clips or, our favorite shows. And I love seeing voice actors in play. The emotion, the care, you know what I mean? The resonance. It's just like when people are physically throwing their bodies into it. It is. A lot of people don't realize it. I think people do feel like it's like you say. You just come in, you read from a script, and you go. That is the case.
I'm very physical in there too. I'm always moving myself around a lot. I tend to also mimic whatever the character's doing with their bodies. So you'll hear me if they're about to sit down, I'll be like, and as we were talking like this, you hear the little bit of the crunch as they're getting down. Every little action kind of brings them a little bit, a little bit more realism to that.
Yeah. I love this. I should be taking notes. Is
There's a lot of little things or if their character's eating something, I'll be like, let me find the nearest thing that I can just put in my mouth and go like that.
Make sure you're taking notes. I wish I was taking notes.
It's a really fun creative thing to do because you're be like, oh wait, I have an idea.
So does the director, the producer, do they allow you to do stuff like that? And how much input do you have over how you want to deliver the scripts?
Sometimes you can put a little bit of input into the scripts, and it also depends. Sometimes if it's a comedy, you might be able to do some improv and put a little few things in there. But overall, I'd say you should generally they try not to change the script up unless there's something inaccurate or something a bit wonky about it, or it doesn't fit in the flaps very well. And sometimes I'll help out, try to figure out I can see the flaps are this thing, maybe this word, if I can see the director's also struggling, but it's mostly their job to do that, so I don't really push that much. I think there's only been a few times where I will have been hey, this is a little advanced and I'm playing a toddler. I feel like this is not a sentence for a kid. It was can we I don't know, dumb this down just a little bit? So things like that. Or if it's in particular, to bring up that Jessica Slies is the ADR script writer for Chainsaw Man, and she is incredible. one of the best script writers at Crunchyroll, and so she made some poetry in that show. But there's one particular one where I did have to be like, sorry, wait, this is not right. This is not true to her character, because I did read the manga, and it was a part where she said she apologized. Like, she said, yes, I'm sorry. And I was like, wait, pause. Pause.
Can we get this on camera?
Not once has that girl apologized to anyone, nor shall she. But so that was, I think, the only like time I've been like, this is like really, that needs to be changed. I'm pretty dang sure about it. But yeah.
And I like that. You want to be in a workspace where you can collaborate. You know what I mean? Criticism and like conversations can be flowed, can have, just to make sure, because you all working towards the same goal at the end. You all want to make sure there is an incredible product for people like myself, people like here in the audience can sit and enjoy and use their weekends, come and sit here, listen to people like actors like yourself talk, and this is the thing, when you're an artist, when you're creative, that's all you want. You want people to feel good, don't you? You want people to sort of walk away with something.
Yeah.
You want Reddit groups to explode with how someone has delivered a word, or they did do this, they didn't do it like that in the anime, or they didn't do that in the manga. This is what it's all about. And well, since you mentioned Chainsaw Man, let's dive into it. This is it's huge. I remember one of my friends in Pullman. In fact, no, I lie actually. One of my nephews was talking to one of my friends in a group chat that we have, it was like comics and anime and stuff, and they were persuading me. My nephew said, one of my nephews is 17 years old. He's like, listen, it's like, old man, I'm 37. He thinks I'm old. And he's like, you need to start watching and reading some new anime, reading some new manga, watch some anime. And he told me about it, and I was like, oh my, all right, okay. And I was like, oh, how long have you been reading this? He was telling me he'd been reading it for a long time. And I was like, mate, you were too young to be reading and watching this sort of stuff. But it's phenomenal. It's wild, it's crazy, it's daring, it's scary. What attracted you to be a part of, such an incredible product like Chainsaw Man?
I actually didn't know what it was prior to, but I do remember seeing their designs all over the place online, and I remember thinking that Power was really cute. I'm like, oh, that's a fun one. I wonder what she's about. And then the auditions came forward, and I'm like, oh, that's those characters. This is what that was from. Cool. I actually initially thought it was like a isekai. Yeah. Like in another world with my chainsaw. This is like a refrigerator type thing. But my partner had the mangas on hand, so I was able to figure out where those audition lines were located. But I didn't like physically read it all the way through. I just jumped to where it was. And so that made me actually think that Power was more crazy than she is, if that's even possible. But yeah, that's basically all I did for that. I thought she was a really fun character regardless. And then when I read the manga the rest of the way, I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes more sense. Okay, I see it. So I'm still really, really floored, and I don't understand how I got to do such a really fun character, but every day I'm very grateful for it.
You said that you didn't realize how crazy she was when you first started.
Oh yeah, I thought she was just crazy, just all over the place. I thought she couldn't control her volume.
Is there a part of you that's like Power, or is there a part of Power that is like you? Is there any sort of similarities, or what's the relationship between yourself and the character?
Well,
you can be honest here. It's a safe space. No one's going to tell anything.
I feel like, so with like a lot of the characters, I feel like you can find something that you can relate to with them, like quite a bit. It's like you're like a mosaic of a lot of the characters you play. I think the only thing that I can really, there's two things I relate with her. I love cats, but I also love animals in general. Like anything to let me pet it, you're in. I love that. And the out-of-pocket things that she does and says, that I also relate to.
Just letting the intrusive thoughts win.
Oh, I just let them out. It's the impulsions, and I just it's better just to release them. It's bad if you keep it in.
One thing I always find that's quite interesting about her is there is a sense of humanity there. Do you know what I mean? And I think quite often times when you look and see characters like herself, who have been through what she's been through, who have done what she's done, usually can distance herself and be like, look, there's nothing really there. She's lost humanity. She's not really like us. she's something other, but I think she's really trying to hold on to that.
Yeah.
Would that be a correct assessment? I don't know. What do you think?
I'd say so, yeah. I mean, she's a very complicated character, too. I mean, for a while, she doesn't really understand that she was seeking some form of companionship. And I think it's easy to look past that, too. But the fact that she bonded with another creature instead of eating it, too, was like really, really important. It's clumsy, her relationships with everybody that she runs into. But you can see that despite being this little gremlin that just destroys everything in its wake, it's very clear that she's looking for something. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, it's a similar story and a similar journey to what I believe that we all as humans are on, as people, as anything that's living. You know, we thrive for love, companionship, support. Now, I haven't finished the manga. I'm not too sure where her journey goes or how it ends. I just hope for the best. I hope we're not giving. Has everybody read it? Everyone read the manga? So we are trying. If there's a few people where hands were down, so we'll try and keep this as spoiler free as possible.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I just want to, you see characters like that, and you just think, well, you're on a journey, you're making changes. Like, you deserve to, that effort is being made. You know what I mean? You deserve to have happiness as all things do. I think so anyways.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's definitely selfish, so I know she's trying to find some form of happiness.
But we all have that. I think we all have that streak in us. You know what I mean? And which is one thing I think why manga and anime is just so, it just resonates more with so many people. Even when I've shown anime or, giving people comic books to people who may have never thought they would read it, but you just give them the right story with the right characters, show them the right person, give them the right storyline, and people can fall in love instantaneously because that journey is always there. It's first and foremost. Anime and manga wholly focus on storytelling, which is what I think. I think that's how we connect in it, by telling stories.
Yeah,
right.
It's wonderful.
It's something which is, I don't know. We look around here in a room like today. How many people are dressed as anime characters? I just think the way it has grown and the way it has exploded, the way the genres are spilling out, it's sensational. Did you ever see like the anime movement, the manga movement spilling out into something like this? Could you imagine something like this from when you was younger?
Oh my gosh, no. Honestly, when I was a kid, I was struggling to understand why there wasn't a lot of merchandise for anime. Like specifically like Sailor Moon and stuff. Like I was trying to look for things and it wasn't. I was like, why is it that it's so popular and it's on TV right now and I can't find it? I can go out and find Little Mermaid everywhere. I can go out and find Power Rangers. I didn't watch that, but I can go find this, and it's just like they're just pushing their own stuff over here instead. So it's like, why can't I want to be Sailor Moon for Halloween? What is this? Why can't I go out and just go buy it? Of course, my mom had to sew it for me.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, it was. Oh my gosh, I put her through hell. But yeah, it's wild to think today because. I mean, when I was growing up, you get bullied for that, People would think you're weird. You just wouldn't really have a good time fitting in whenever you did. And so that's something I definitely hid from a lot of people, too, even in high school. And I got so excited whenever I saw some people were, like, they had, like, little merchandise on their bags and stuff. And I'd be like, ooh, okay, hi, do you like that? And then they're like, look at me like, and then they walked. I'm like, what? What did I say? Like, what in the world? But yeah, it's crazy to see how much it's blown up and how it's become much more like widely accepted and more people are into it. It makes me so happy.
I'm curious though, what's next for yourself, Sarah? You know what I mean? Are you looking ahead to any or do you like to just let things settle and relax a little bit and, not too focus on, what is the next job? What is the next role? No, have a drink first, please. I'm
struggling.
Yeah, by all means, have a drink. So, how are you guys? You all right?
I'm new to these bottles.
Are you thinking of questions? We're going to open the floor up to you guys for questions in just a sec. But, yeah.
Ooh, jump back. I totally forgot the question after I was trying to open.
Where do we go next from here? You know what I mean? Are you one of those people that's constantly sort of thinking about the next role or the next job or the next place you want to work? Or do you just, are you in a place now where you can just sort of sit back and let things flow a little bit?
Oh, well, I want to say I'm very much in the moment kind of person. So, I don't know. I'm always open for new things to come to me. But And I'm just always happy whenever there is work because like that's me and my elements. And I'm like, oh good, I get to go in again, yay!
I like that. No stress. I love your energy.
thank you.
I really, really like that. We live in a day and age of like hustle culture, and if you don't wake up before 3 a.m., you're not achieving. You're like, what? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't need that. I don't need that kind of energy.
yeah. I think we established we like sleep here, don't we?
We do.
Yeah. I'm curious about time. I don't want to sort of put anybody out. Have we got any questions in the audience at all? If anybody's got some, young man over there. I'll tell you what. I'll come out with the microphone.
So I was wondering, if you could have any dream role, it could be any character you want. Who would it be and why?
Honestly, I think I'd just be happy to voice in like maybe a Legend of Zelda game. Might be fun to do like a Korok or something.
That'd be actually really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So we've got two over here.
Hi, Toru.
Hello. What would you say your top 3 roles, like favorite roles to perform, like if you have a top 3?
That's a rough question for me. I'll probably say Toru, Power, and I don't know, rolling the dice on this one. I guess Zeno. But that one's so difficult for me to say because whenever I'm voice acting for a character and I go the journey with them, I can't help but become sympathetic with them and then have them become like a huge part of me. Like every character I play is like another like mosaic of who I am. And so it's hard for me to be like, okay, that was okay, but I don't care about that anymore. Now Power instead, It's difficult to be like, oh, just this one. When every time I voice for a new thing, it's just really fun. I'm in my passion when I'm in that zone. And so I love all the characters I get to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello there.
Hi. Well, this question isn't going to be very unexpected. What did you like the most about playing Toru? Or like, how was it playing Toru?
Oh gosh. Let's see.
I just want to hear anything.
Yes. I really enjoyed her story. I loved that she decided just to fully commit to a human after being saved, and she's like, yeah, okay, let's do Matum. Like it's like such a bizarre story, and her personality is so